That's why they're all broken. It's exhausting. Should have came over.
So was it you that she's looking?
Burning anything? Check on.
She still thinks it's locked.
I'll make sure it's full.
Just to get the Roger side. A mono Roger. Yeah, kind of like that.
Good. Does Sunday work for you?
They were suggesting that City Park on the fairground. And I looked at the map, the fairground's way too much of a high point. So these walking come down the parachute, get some cars on the other part of the city park. Too many houses, railroad. Could be anywhere. Oh, this hard.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Right now we've got about 8 kids are wanting to do it, 8 to 10. And I'm only listening. So we get the bulk pack, the rockets, and each kid we have level 1, level 2, level 3. And we have a lot of kind of so the less track, the higher you go.
There's some kid that comes out of the pad, some sort of very engineering.
Call this meeting to order. That's all here.
Efforts with clear insight, our deliberations with wisdom, our work with clarity and watch over him, and
to the republic justice for all.
Yes. Well, I guess since we've made that change so that I know Dean doesn't want to be here any more than he has to be, so but anyway, I want to give you a little bit of a background on Dean. Dean began his extension career in Custer County in March of 1997. After 4 years in extension, he accepted the agriculture livestock 4-H youth development position in Los Angeles County in August of 2001. For the last 17 years, Dean has provided helpful information and educational workshops to our citizens. During this time, he was able to make great improvements to the livestock and 4-H programs. His knowledge and insight have impacted many and will be greatly missed. Congratulations on a wonderful career and best wishes for the next phase. It has been our pleasure to know and work with you. And I'm going to have to insert something here too. I've had the privilege of writing Dean's checks 2 different times. Dean worked for me in private business before he got a real career. And Dean was probably and I got to say this, Dean, and don't take it personally, but you're probably the second best truck driver we had, because Jerry was my partner, and so I had the pleasure of Dean working for me in the private sector for what, a couple of years?
Yeah, 3.
And I'm not kidding, he was the best truck driver we had, other than Jerry, and I have to say that because he was my partner. But so I've had the pleasure of being able to basically sign his checks in 2 different phases of his career. So Dean, from my point of view, I appreciate all that you've done for the kids, for the community, and your involvement in it. That has been great. You've taken on some other things outside of your duties there, and those are the kind of things that make you a truly good person. So thank you for all you've done.
Thank you.
That's it. Cool. I've written yeah. So, Dean, if you would, would anybody else like to say anything? If you'll come up, what's that?
I'm a crier. I said we'll start crying.
Okay, no crying.
I know.
Let's go. Come on up here, Dean. We have this plaque for Dean, and I'll read it. In recognition for your contribution and devotion to the Los Angeles County Ag, Livestock, 4-H programs, you are hereby awarded this plaque for 20 years of service to our community. And it's dated this day, September 5th, 2017. There was somebody else came that day and got it. So, and Dean, I got You're welcome to say anything if you want to.
Speech.
I don't know what to say other than it's been a pleasure to serve the county, to serve the youth and the livestock producers. And I worked with Mac and more than just driving his truck and as an extension agent. And the other 2 commissioners, Mr. Bolter and Mr. Lopez, please know them too. I wished I could have been around longer, worked with both of you more. I really have enjoyed working with Lori. We made a good team, and it got to the point where we finished each other's sentences. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's been a good go. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Consideration of minutes, special meeting minutes from August 29th, 2017.
I just have a couple of things. Paragraph 2, first sentence, change unleaded to diesel. They're very minor. In the first sentence, and then unleaded, the paragraph 2. And then, there's a transposed, $1.29 per gallon to $1.92. Third from the top and also third from the bottom on the right. And then in the third paragraph, diesel to unleaded. And $1.27.5 to $1.97. Towards the bottom, third from the bottom also.
That's all I have. That's very good. I caught that and thought, I wonder if Dean's getting that difference, that they're gonna pay him the difference.
Well, I was hoping, right?
Make motion to approve.
With the changes?
Some changes.
Okay. Second?
Second, yeah.
Commissioner Moulton?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowden?
Yes. Reading correspondence, commissioner committee reports. Mr. Nicholas?
Well, we had the bike study yesterday. Commissioner Moulton and I both were present. Looks like they're gonna move forward with a PEL study. We're gonna be getting some insight from State of Colorado for some consultants for the bike study. It's gonna go Highway 12 all the way around to Walsenburg. Our assessor notified us yesterday that the railway that we want to use is still partially owned by two entities, Kern Valley and the Federal Ag Program. That was a concern. The state of Colorado said during the PEL that will not be an issue. So when they do the study, they'll wipe all that out anyway. So we're glad we move forward with that. I think it will be hopefully within the next few years. I think the total project, Mr. Loud's been part of it for many years, about $300 million.
When it's all
When
done.
it's all said and done, yeah. But it might have to be done in phases,
Yeah, I
and
think
that's
so.
probably the best way to. So we're looking forward to having that bike path, hopefully in the near future. So more tourists, more people, more exercise. Health department would love it, I think. That's all.
And I was also present, and it's pretty much a joint venture, or with Fairfield County, Walsenburg, and Trinidad, and everybody's for it. And you know, it might take 5 to 7 years to come to fruition, but we have to start somewhere. I'm real excited about this project. So that's about all I know.
Well, when this project was started, I happened to be at a CDOT meeting and they were talking about it, and there was somebody from Breckenridge there, and so I got to talking to him about it because they've done extensive bike trails around Breckenridge, and he said that it's starting to rival the ski industry, the bike part of it. So that, wow, we don't have ski, but we got bikes and we got some great places to ride. I think, if it doesn't got a motor, I really don't take it. So anyway, I think this is something that hopefully the two of you can keep working on and get this started. It's going to be in phases. They've started on Puerto County. They've done some things on that end up to Coachella that we're trying to do, and we're going to start on this end, and hopefully we're going to drive a golden spike in the middle somewhere.
That's about all I got.
Okay.
Mr. Glush also did mention possibly reopening of the ski resort.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for Southern Colorado.
Eat snow. All right. Public comment. Is that where is that? Okay, Thomas, somebody.
That was me that I scratched out.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. Brian Watson? Do you want to come up at the same time, or you want to speak separately?
I'll introduce you if that's okay. Cool. So, Board of County Commissioners, what a complete honor to be here in front of you. For the record, I guess I'm not a member of the public, so to speak, because I'm from Arapahoe County. But what an honor to be here. I used to be a county commissioner in Arapahoe County, and to see this beautiful courthouse and your beautiful ties. I mean, this is so much nicer than our facility that I used to work at. It really is an honor to be here today to address you for a couple minutes. I'm here with Mr. Brian Watson from the Opportunity Coalition, and we're going to have a meeting, brief meeting with Commissioner Lopez later today, talking about what we're up to. And he goes, "Why don't you just come to the public hearing and talk about it in public, so to speak?" But before that, I hope you all recognize what a wonderful community you have. I've been privileged to travel the entire state of Colorado 4 times in the last 4 years. Last time I was in Trinidad was last summer, and I stayed in a bed and breakfast right over here. And then there's a great group up. I think you have a couple, but I went to the one up on the highway and enjoyed a live band. And I'm telling you, please don't underestimate what a beautiful community you have. That trail you talk about, I'm up in the mountains almost every single weekend, spring, summer, and fall, trail running with about 15 of us. And we go to restaurants and we go shopping and we enjoy the mountains. And you have just as much beauty in this community as the mountains do. This is an awesome place. Now, the reason I'm here in front of you. Brian Watson, you will hear from in a second, founded the Opportunity Coalition 4 years ago. It's a nonprofit, and it's specifically designed to bring people together in a meaningful way to create opportunities in business, in civic, in leadership, and to help young people achieve something in their life, to help older people give back, to have people from a diverse background across the state to connect in meaningful ways. Brian will talk a little bit more about why he founded it. But we are out visiting the state of Colorado today, talking to mayors and county commissioners and civic leaders and media about how we've got a great state, but we can do better, and we need to do better. Maybe you're perfect down here in Trinidad, but in South Metro Denver, where I'm from, there's always ways we can improve our quality of life and our standard of living, and our citizens demand that and expect that, and we have kind of a niche and an opportunity that might benefit you as leaders, but more importantly, the citizens of Trinidad, if they can somehow harness some of our energy in Metro Denver. And I know you probably all love Metro Denver. But we love Metro Denver. And there's probably some way that we can have that bond, whether it's tourism or attractions or whether it's business opportunities. And if there's a way we can help make that connections, we'd be honored to do so. So with your permission, is that short enough, Commissioner Lopez? Fine. Cool. With your permission, I'd like to introduce the founder and principal of the Opportunity Coalition, Brian Watson.
Thank you all for just letting us stop by right quick. Really love your community. I come from a small town on the western slope of Colorado, Olathe, known for its sweet corn. And so everything about rural Colorado is in my blood, from hunting and fishing and agriculture and ranching. I graduated from CU Boulder and started some companies in Denver. I own a commercial real estate company, and our specialty is buying vacant buildings, not only in Colorado, but throughout the country, to try to create jobs and opportunity and empower people. I bought assets as far south as Colorado City, north up into Fort Collins, and all around. But a number of years ago, I just noticed that our state was disconnected. There was people from the western slope, from the mountain region, from the Front Range, and from the eastern plains, and they weren't always talking together. And everybody was getting pretty busy, and whether they were involved in business or politics or whatever, I thought it would be interesting just to create an environment where we could build some bridges and tear down barriers among people and create more opportunity for all. So we created the Opportunity Coalition. It's a nonprofit. We have a speaker come in once a month, and they just share their golden nuggets of wisdom. And every one of you are welcome as my personal guest. No charge, no membership. Just come on up, and we do it in Denver. And we have, major CEOs to people that they're their only employee, and nonprofits and politics and everything, and they just share their story. And about 100 to 200 people show up, and new businesses have been found, new nonprofit efforts, etc. And you all are welcome to attend. From that, we've also, Comcast approached me and said, we really love your positive message about trying to create jobs and opportunity and bring people together. So we created a little TV show that they asked us to do called The Mountains of Opportunity. And I get to do a TV show on any person and anything I want to in Colorado. And so we travel around the state, I underwrite it, so it's no cost to the business. And whether it's nonprofit or just a local business, whether it's 1 employee or 1,000 employees or anything between, I don't care. We're just looking for good, positive stories of people doing good things out in the world. So if you know anybody in your community that has a business, a nonprofit, whatever it might be, that we can come down and highlight a story and do a TV show on. It's on all the major networks, Fox and CNN and ESPN, all that kind of good stuff, and it's completely free to them. I just have, as an entrepreneur, I know how hard it is. And in 2008, my wife and I, we basically lost everything, and those were tough times. And we want to try to bless others and come alongside them and try to create that opportunity. So one, you're all welcome to come to the events. If you have any speakers that you think would be good, again, we draw people from around the state. And two, if you know of any good groups that we can come down and do a show on. And so that's what we're up to. And just really love these kind of communities, and if we can be a resource for you in any way, please let us know.
What are the dates of your meetings? Sorry.
They're usually on the 3rd Thursday of the month, and we move it around Denver to different locations. So right now we're doing it mainly in downtown Denver. Also for college students, they're always completely free to attend. I really want to try to get our younger people to come in and try to figure out what they want to do, and hopefully maybe find a job or whatever it might be.
Just a comment, and I appreciate what you're trying to do. I think that's great. But as a disconnect between Denver and here, everything happens in Denver.
You're absolutely right.
So why don't you take your show on the road to rural communities in Colorado rather than doing everything in Denver? Those are the people who need to see what the resources we have out here and what we have out here. If they're meeting in downtown Denver, they never get to see that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. So I really get tired of the whole Denver-centric mentality. So at different businesses I've started, it's kind of phase 1, 2, and 3. So phase 1, we started in South Denver in a vacant building that I bought where we create business incubators. We did it for a year there. We then moved to downtown Denver. Phase 3 and 4, my dream and goal is to have it move around the state. Again, I come from a rural community, and this is really the backbone of Colorado. And so it starts with us getting in a car, and we're going to put on 1,000 miles in the next few days, yesterday and today, etc., driving around into the Eastern Plains and showing up with people. So hopefully phase 3 and 4 would be something like that. You're absolutely correct. That's why.
And I think if you wanted to come to Trinidad, we could probably afford you the opportunity to use chambers.
Okay.
Hold one of these meetings.
Love to do it.
And get our community leaders here. Probably good.
Love to do it.
Also, if you want to contact my younger brother Carlos, I think he also has a youth club here, which is a nonprofit that might be something to highlight. So if you contact him, I think you have his information on the job. Great,
yeah, let us know. And again, there's so many great stories out there, especially in communities like this. So I'll do that. It'd be great.
Great, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you all for a few minutes. Appreciate it.
Do you have an email?
Yeah, my personal email is Brian, B-R-I-A-N, @ Northstar CP, as in North Star Commercial Partners, which is what northstarcp.com. CP, and phone number is 303-893-9500, and that's my company, but I also have an Opportunity Coalition website. So thank you all again, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brandon.
John Kinney.
Hi, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to me today. I would like to bring to your attention what is going on in beautiful and exciting Model Colorado. We're having an issue with vagrant squatters on properties out there. I own 40 acres, and I've owned 40 acres in Model for 4 years, my partner and myself. We've had squatters on our property that we've had to have evicted, restraining orders from them, putting feces in our water source, flattening our tires. We've made the Sheriff's Department aware of everything, and they don't seem to help at all. I don't know if they're homophobic, or if they know that we're law-abiding citizens that pay our taxes, and they just know they can get money from us. We've had vagrants come onto our property, threaten us with a knife, threaten our lives, and we've called the Sheriff's Department. They're not interested in coming out at all, and helping us. Now, we had our land surveyed, and we went to mark lines so that everyone knows where they can be and where they can't be. Well, the vagrants, those squatters, called the sheriff's department and told them that we were threatening them with knives, or with guns rather, and they were out there immediately. They arrested myself and they arrested my partner and took us to jail. They didn't read us our Miranda rights. They didn't tell us what we were being arrested for, but we were in jail here in Trinidad. You know, so I don't know what the deal is. Again, I don't know. I'm 60 years old. I'm HIV positive. I'm retired from King Supers. We moved out here to have a nice, peaceful life, to get out of the city. And now, for the last 2 years, we've been approached, being called faggots, queers. People drive by and slowly try to stare us down and threaten our lives. And we've made the sheriff's department aware of it. We've had them crash through our gate, steal ammunition from us when we're not there, and terrorize our dogs. One of the vagrants, squatting on the property next to us, has 9 dogs. One of his dogs have come over and attacked our dogs twice. We've called the sheriff's department. They threatened to come and throw us in jail for false reporting. So now we don't even bother calling the sheriff's department. We just take pictures of them passing by. We try to get recordings of them calling us faggots and queers. And we've had it. I mean, we've just totally had it. We spent a full day in jail. We had to post $5,000 bail each just to get out. And our neighbors that owned the property around us posted our bail. We have to go to trial on the 27th for felony menacing. And you know, there's no substantial evidence. The sheriff's department says it's under investigation. If it's under investigation, then why were we thrown in jail? I mean, I just don't understand. We were told when we moved here that the sheriff's department is corrupt. You know, we live in Model on 40 acres. It didn't concern us. So, you know, it didn't matter to us if the sheriff's department is corrupt. When we got a restraining order to get the squatters off of our property, the judge said, well, good luck with the sheriff's department. And now we know what they're talking about. You know, we just want to live our lives out there and retire and live our golden years out there. And we've got people out there squatting on different properties around us, threatening us and calling us queers and faggots. And I just felt it necessary that you guys know that the sheriff's department has been useless for us, and we are the tax-paying citizens. The squatters on the property next to us panhandle at the Safeway, and they're alcoholics. You know, they live in a cave with a dirt floor. And you know, we have a cabin. We're trying to, you know, build our retirement situation, and it's just been hell. It's just been hell. We moved out of the city from Denver onto our 40 acres to get away from stuff like that, to get away from violence, to get away from crime, to get away from everything that the city involves, only to move out and have a different type of violence thrust on us. And so basically what I'm trying to say is there is something seriously wrong with our sheriff's department. When they will take the word of squatters and vagrants and ignore us and our pleas for help. They took our guns, they took our rifles when they arrested us. Now I'm out there, 126 pounds, 60 years old. I have no protection at all, because it's in their investigation. So I mean, there's something seriously wrong with your sheriff's department.
I don't want to interrupt your...
That's basically all I want to say. I just want you guys to know.
Who owns the property that people are squatting on?
Philip Edwards and Kevin Angel. We've got a hold of all of them, and they're, you know, because we don't want that kind of sword out there, and so we've gotten a hold of everyone. And so
have they, to your knowledge, have they contacted the sheriff's department and filed trespass charges?
The gentleman that has the 9 dogs that has the one that has attacked our dogs twice, they are in the process of having that one evicted now. He's going to be served on the 21st, and I guess he's got 10 days to contest it or whatever, and then then he's gonna be escorted, off October 1st. So, I mean, we've gotten hold of everyone, and everyone's concerned.
And how many are there approximately out there?
On Mercedes and Kurt's land, right next to us, there's one, and he's got 9 dogs. On the property behind us, owned by Philip Edwards, there's 2, and they're the panhandlers, and they're the ones that have threatened my life with a knife, and that have called me a queer and a faggot, and they go to the guy next to us, and they swing their rifles around, and they holler, "Jesus loves you," and queer and faggot, and so yeah, we've gotten a hold of everyone, and everyone's concerned.
What county road are you reside on?
I live on County Road 133.8 in Long.
What is it again?
County Road 133.8. That's Bear Springs Trail.
Is it a subdivision?
I'm not sure.
So we're at model, if you're driving down 350, you have the model.
A mile
Model
marker.
basically the town limits, so to speak.
Right.
Where are you from now?
We're closer to Tennessee. Mile marker 33.
Do you have a law when you call the sheriff?
We had been calling the sheriff's department until they threatened to come out and get us for false reporting. Now we just take pictures, try to get recordings on our phone. If we're out there chopping wood, I have my phone in my pocket, and just try to record it, that way. Because we gave up on the sheriff. They're no help to us.
And do you have cell phone service there?
Yes, sir.
Is that your main?
Yeah.
You don't have a landline, it's basically.
No, it's just our cell phones.
How many times did you call the sheriff?
Oh my God. When they crashed through our gate, when we were in jail, our ranch hand was still at home trying to arrange our bail. I'm sorry, the question again?
How many times have you called the sheriff's department?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to say about 20 times.
And they never responded?
After they crashed through our gate, stole our ammunition, and terrorized our dogs while we were in jail, we called them to report it. And it took them 2 days to respond, and they reluctantly came out. And there were car parks. I mean, so there was evidence of whose car it was. And they reluctantly put the evidence in a box and said they'd file a report and left. So they didn't even approach the people at all. Again, it's under investigation. So, so we're going to court on the 27th for felony menacing, just for trying to run a line to separate the properties, so they know, please don't come on ours. Definitely not come on yours.
So this is a survey line that you had done.
Yes, sir.
And you were just merely posting the boundaries of your property.
Running a string from the surveyor's little things. Yeah.
And there was no altercation between you and the squad?
No, none.
They just called the sheriff's department
And said that
just because you were running a property line?
they said that my partner Paul pointed a rifle at him. And that was enough to get the sheriff's department out and throw us both in jail. And they have stayed outside of our gate, which is probably 100 yards from our cabin, and just stood there and called us queers and faggots for 15-20 minutes. And then they just leave. And then they come back at night, and then we can hear them shooting their guns off. And we just gave up on the sheriff's department.
So they do have a vehicle then?
Yeah, they do.
Well, you're not the first one to come complain in front of us regarding the sheriff. We have a lot of other issues in the county, criminal or illegal activities as well. Often all over the place, Bon Air, between you and AUR. I've asked repeatedly that if the sheriff could have a representative at these meetings, just for these exact reasons, and to no avail. we have yet to see representative of the sheriff's office and have our meetings to answer these questions that you have. District attorney of interest, but your attorney, if you have a representation, also discuss what you just explained to us today. I believe Mr. Solano understands that these are similar issues with the sheriff's department as well. So we're all familiar with these same issues you're having. It's unfortunate, but as elected officials, we have no control over him or his office. The voters do, John Public. So that would be my opinion, advice to you to pursue that way, and with the media, the district attorney's office, because it continues to happen time and time again. I'm frankly sick of it.
Thank you, Mr.
I think we all are, and I guess what I would like to see you, if you could briefly write down what you kind of said today in chronological order of how things happen, and submit it to Selena, and so that we have a copy of what you're going through, or what
Yes, sir.
today has happened.
Okay, yes, sir. Okay, thank you.
And she's on the first floor.
Right. Okay, thank you again for listening.
Thank you for coming
Thank you.
with your concerns.
Not perfect.
Good morning, gentlemen. For the record, my name is Thomas Murphy. I'm very disturbed right now. I was going to give a short version of my speech, but after listening to that, I'm going to go into more detail of what I have to say, because I have a solution for the gentleman. I'll tell you a story. As you gentlemen know, I got you some documents recently. I was going to bring you the responses that I got, but I did take my mother to the eye doctor yesterday, and I didn't have time. And you know, I requested to be on the agenda, but the topic wasn't suitable, and I get that. So, in 2014 or 15, in my office, Los Angeles County Coroner Dominic Berger was there signing a death certificate. And he started telling me a story that I didn't know anything about. He said, you know, I killed a man. I said, what? He said, yeah, I killed a man many years ago in self-defense. How do you respond to that? He said, yeah, shot him several times. If I recall correctly, he was implying that it happened out on his property. And he said he got off on self-defense. Again, where do you go with this? You say, gee, I'm sorry, or you say, congratulations, what do you do? Then he said, he looked at me and says, you know, he was a big guy like you, and I wasn't afraid. I'm like, okay. Finished up, I went upstairs, and at the time, I can tell you, it was shortly after the newspaper closed, it was in 14 or 15. I had so much on my plate, I wasn't processing what I was being told. It didn't make sense until this year when somebody came to me and told me something. And I realized what it was. It was a threat. From that time, I drew a line in the sand. And I said, no more. I knew things that were going on, but I couldn't prove them. So lately, the documents that I got you are an effort to find facts. That's all I'm looking for right now is facts. Those facts are being blocked. Your people have been very forthcoming, Christy, as far as what I'm asking for. Because there's more than one way to skin a cat. And so, I am in the process of building the facts, and when the time comes, then I will be going to the proper authorities and doing what I need to do. It's disturbing after listening to the gentleman's story that there's not just one elected official, there's more than one. I'm not going to make any accusations today. Those accusations are coming, okay? But in 2003, I drew a line in the sand with the in Trinidad Catholic Cemetery. It took me 8 years to get the facts that I needed. In January of 2011, I took those facts to the Attorney General. Within a week, they got a cease and desist order. Okay? But it took them almost a whole year to get here and produce what they needed to do. In that time, I sat down, let me back up, in August of 2011, 2 women came to meet me from Pueblo. They had the same problem with Rosemont Cemetery. When it was all over with, I told them, I said, you know what we need to do? We need a bill in the legislature to address this transparency issue. Because the people at the Catholic Cemetery won't even talk to me, won't tell me when their meetings were. So I said, I think the only way to resolve this is to get a bill. In December of 2011, I sat with Wes McKinley in my living room, and I wrote the bill. First he said, Tom, I don't think we can get a bill to make the grass green. It's like, that's not what I want. If you look it up, House Bill 1068, it's about transparency, it's about open meetings, representation, everything else. I got Kevin Grantham, Republican senator, who's still in the Senate, and Wes McKinley to co-sponsor the bill. You know, Bush wrote an editorial against it, but we succeeded. You know why we succeeded? Is because on February 5th, 2012, if you go and you Google the Denver Post, top of the fold, dirt on Trinidad Cemetery. That is what we carried with us throughout the legislature. I took 20 trips from here, leaving at 5 o'clock in the morning and going up and pounding the steps of the Capitol. The bill was dead twice, but McKinley threatened the legislature at one time because I was here by myself from Los Angeles County. Nobody else supported me. But there were 200 people in Pueblo that said, no more will we let our cemetery be treated like this. So with that threat, the bill was raised. And when it was all done and said, it passed. You know who voted against it? To a T? Lawyers. The Senate was unanimous. In the House of Representatives, there's 65 representatives and 35 senators. It was unanimous in the Senate, but in the House of Representatives, the only people who voted against it are lawyers. I don't know if that tells you anything. When it came to signing the bill, they did it privately. And I saw Lieutenant Governor Joe Garcia here at Mount Carmel that summer, and I confronted him. I said, the governor's going around the state signing all these bills, and the people that worked really hard to do this should have gotten some credit. You know what he said? Sorry, but we didn't want the Catholic Church to oppose us and lose the votes. So my challenge to you, gentlemen, are you going to be politicians, or are you going to be men of honor, integrity, and faith, that you're going to do the right thing? Because the story that Mr. Burke told me, I realize now is a threat, and what I'm doing is very serious. Each count, when I come out with the accusation, is up to a year in jail. This is a very serious matter, and to me it's a matter of life and death, just like this gentleman back here. You need to go to February 5th, 2012, front page of the Denver Post. Actually, my picture was supposed to be in front page, standing in the scattered ruins of all the monuments. Unfortunately, at the last second, the reporter told me they put an orangutan there because it saw its reflection on the window. So I lost out. My short, brief claim to fame. That's all right. The insurance policy that I bought isn't a literal insurance policy, it's figurative. I believe right now that my life is in danger. So what I've done is I've given all the documents and everything that I have to a number of different people, family and friends, and reporters. Up north, not here. Hopefully, this will go nationwide. You're going to have the scrutiny of the state and the nation looking at all this. And now I think this is another piece of the puzzle of what we need to do to address. What I want from you is you can use the power of the checkbook to say, you know what? Either be forthcoming with the facts, or you can withhold the checks. That's what I'm asking from you. That's the action that we're going for. The facts speak for themselves. That's why I'm not making any accusations at this point until I have all the facts. So gentlemen, I was planning to come up here and be just very brief, but I'm nearly shaking listening to that gentleman's story. That appalls me. That is very disturbing. That should be the front page of both the newspapers that we have here locally. It would have been in our newspaper, I can guarantee you. So when it comes down to gentlemen, if you're going to be like Pontius Pilate and be a politician, or you're going to be men of honor, integrity, and faith, and are you going to do everything that you can do to help these situations? I'm shaking right now. It just bothers me so much. It's up to you, gentlemen, to do everything in your limited power I know that you have. You should be shouting from the rooftops. Not only no, hell no. Thank you.
Thank you.
Administration report.
I have nothing.
Okay. Golden Bridge, I don't see.
I'm sorry.
Golden Bridge, you gonna give that one?
I don't have anything on the request either. Nobody's giving me anything.
Consideration to appoint Commissioner Dean Moulter as appointing authority for Los Angeles County Board of Health.
I don't have one.
There was no resolution when I went back on Mr. Veda, because he was the previous appointing authority. There was no resolution, so when I spoke with you, it was a housekeeping matter.
Well, I guess then, do you have any problems if we appoint him to replace Mr. Veda?
No. I don't know.
I will make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Lally?
Yes.
Commissioner Walter?
I guess.
What this does is that you need to be there from 9 to noon, Monday through Friday, just to make sure everything's.
Okay, and I gotta bring the donuts, right?
Well, thank you, Dean, for doing that. It's very important that it's going to have that communication line between the health department and the commissioners, so.
And I'll get with you on times and dates.
Consideration of
Model rocket.
model rocket launch and airport for Brad Kirby and you. I don't know what model rocket was.
Yeah, it's later, exactly. Might be some out there. Thank you, gentlemen, for letting me find you out. I do have a little paperwork, pass this out here for y'all. And I'll show you exactly what I'm doing.
Hey, Brett.
Now, what I'd like to do for the youth of Trinidad is start a model rocket club. When I was a kid in the 70s, of course, we had the Apollo and all that, I was deeply into model rockets. I still am. I'm still a kid at heart myself. I've been looking at places where we could launch the rocket. Before I actually start the club, I need a place to launch the rockets. I have been suggested City Park or the fairgrounds, and I have a map in there showing those, and also the 250 feet, 500 feet, and about 1,500 feet of circumference. At the fairgrounds, it's way too close to the highway. Some of these rockets go up 1,500 feet, and they come down by parachute. Normally, they come within a football field, about 100 yards from the launch site, about 300 feet. but some do get carried away. Sometimes the parachute might be too big. So we can't have the fairgrounds, it's just too close to I-25. A parachute rocket only weighs, half a pound and comes down in front of a car going 70 miles an hour. That's going to be a safety issue. So we can't do it at the fairgrounds. Same kind of problem at the city park. It's too close to residential areas, too close to the railroad tracks and everything else, the trees around. These rockets come down, we don't want them stuck up in the trees and all that. So the airport, and I've been out there, is the best alternative to launch these rockets. I showed you the area of where they would come down. We have concerns about the fuel tanks out there, any planes that are parked out there. I suggest that we could use one of the taxiways away from, the farthest away from the fueling tanks, and use one of the taxi, I guess that's called a parking area for the planes. There's two of them. We will not be on the runway, so the airport can stay open in case somebody needs an emergency land or something like that. We will not be on the runway. There will also be a taxiway open to the plane, so we'll only take one of the two taxiways. I plan to do this once every 6 months. We're not going to go out there every week or every month fly rockets. So we plan to build 40 rockets between 12 kids, 3 rockets apiece, a couple of extras, to build the rockets and fly off one day. So we're thinking about doing it every 6 months to have a launch day. I did a kind of scenario with the launch day would start about 9 o'clock, open the doors. The first rocket launched at 11:30 in the morning, and we launch rockets all day long, one at a time. We have little prizes for the highest rocket goes up. So we've got everything kind of working on that. Bar and I, and maybe the college also, were considering reviewing a grant because they think this is perfect for educational for the kids and something for the youth to do in Trinidad. The youth club, Carl Lopez, has offered the youth club in a room for us to build our rockets so it's secure. You can lock it up, and so nobody will mess with the kids' rockets. The 4-H club also has a model rocket program, and they're very interested in also joining our program. So I'm trying to limit this, it might be hard, to 12 kids because the rockets come in bulks of 12 rockets each. And that way, every kid will have the exact same rocket of that skill level, and depending on how well they put it together and everything is how high it goes up. So we can have a contest of the best efficiency as far as putting the rocket together, as far as getting some of the money back. Also, we've considered about how we're going to pay for this. I've come up to kind of itemized plan about how much it costs. It's going to be about $800. Bar and I suggested that the kids put a little bit of money in there, like $30, which is about a third of what it costs for the 3 rockets they would get and the motors. But they would have something in it. And if the child cannot produce at $30 and he really wants to be in the club, we will forfeit the $30 for him. So everything's going as far as schedule, and everything looks good. I've got a lot of interest in this, except before I really advertise it, I want to make sure we have a place to launch rockets. And so that's why I'm coming to you for permission to use the airport for one day. The fire department in Trinidad said they would supply a brush truck for us. So just in case they can, I'm not sure they will be actually responsible for that, or it would be more of a county fire department. That's up to y'all. But we have a lot of interest in this. So I am asking permission to use the airport for one day, sometime next year, probably March, April time period.
Well, and I appreciate what you're trying to do. I think it's admirable and it's a good thing for the youth. We have lots of federal funds, or mostly federal funds out there. So what I would really love to see from you is and I haven't had time to read this, so maybe it's there, but an outline of what you're going to do, what it's going to take, the whole thing, and maybe it's here. I'm not saying that it isn't. And then we need to run that by the aeronautical people, the airport people, to see if that's something that they can do. We cannot put ourselves in any kind of jeopardy with the airport in terms of funding if we do something that is not allowed by them. So, and based on what I have seen so far, that this is really right on the edge of what, or not even on the edge, that they won't allow, but, if I have an outline and we can submit that to them, and let them determine whether this is something that is appropriate or not. I'm not in a position right now to make a decision one way or another.
Yeah, I know there's going to be a lot of talk about everything. I plan to also go to FAA to get, after y'all say okay, to make sure we have airspace. FAA really likes model rocket clubs, and so it's for the youth, and so there's usually no problem getting airspace. Also, we want to advertise to the pilots that do use the airport that weekend, that one day, we will be doing this, so if they can work around that schedule. So I am definitely going to be working with y'all and the airport as far as I can do that. I've already talked to the airport. They suggested that I come to y'all also, and so I am working with everybody involved here.
I think this is a great idea, Brett, with Mr. Loudon on the logistics and approvals from the FAA. But also what I'd like to see, if you get all that and we pass these hurdles, a letter of commitment from one of the fire departments to do that. And have it right, because you just never know.
Right. Yeah.
You know, all we said about now we can't.
And I was talking to the assistant police fire chief, and just kind of brought that up. He says, "Yeah, I think we can do that." He has talked to the chief, so yeah, I've mentioned to them, but I do need to get something right.
Yeah, I'd have all your bases covered, and then come back, and once that's clear, then I think this would be good for the youth of the community.
Yeah.
We just have to measure within the guidelines. So, so how high do they go?
They go from anywhere from 500 feet to 2,000 feet. And so the ones I am buying for the kids normally go 1,500 feet, but you can never tell. So I want to give an extra 500 feet there. So they do, some of them go high. And we have level scale 1 that goes 500 feet, level scale 2 goes about 800 feet, and then the 3 goes, and the 2 stage, it can go to 1,200 feet. So they do, they're also all supposed to come down with parachutes as part of the program to learn how to pack it, to do everything, so you have a successful, completed one successful flight.
Well, one of the sentences here that we got from the FAA was other activities such as model aircraft or model rocket operations are not aeronautical activities. So that one gives me cause for concern. So we need to get around that hurdle, and if we can't get around that hurdle, we can't jeopardize our airport funding.
And also, I was going to get event insurance also to make sure that we get covered that way too. So, and I measured the point of where I would like, and it's on there, of where I'd like the launch site to be, which is 500 feet away from the nearest fueling tank. These rocks are also, they're under a pound. If they hit a piece of metal or building, they're not going to go through it. They're made of cardboard, they're not made of metal either. So these are, you know, almost a kid's toy, but they're still fire-breathing rockets.
Just a suggestion, as an alternate location, if this doesn't work out, maybe you could contact Nemo Canyon. They have their own fire department on hand there. They got lots of land.
Okay.
Maybe they can be accommodating.
How far is it away?
About 30 miles.
30 miles?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to keep it close, but that's no reason.
Use youth clubs van to transport the students, you know, if they're going to do in conjunction with you, I know they have a van too. So that might be an alternate location if we can't get past this hurdle. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to depend on the federal, you know, the FAA, and if they allow us in our grants, if that's going to affect our grant money, like Max said.
Right. And yeah, I'm not trying to get anything taken away from y'all. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, I was a rocketeer, so to speak. I wasn't Kim Jong-un, but I was a rocket guy on 4H myself.
You didn't say that, did you?
I didn't hear that. These have no nuclear warheads on the parts.
We wasn't in the same class as you, was he? We graduated together.
Yeah, you got his 5th year 4H pin in Rocketeer also.
Well, I'm glad to see that the 4-H is supporting it as well. So
Yeah. So I've got a lot of interest in this. So like I said, we can't do it everywhere, I'll try to find another place. Before I really advertise, to try to get grants, though, I'd really like to have a secure site to launch instead of just building it and figuring out where we're going to do it afterwards. So.
Well, and I appreciate all the efforts you're doing, and I want to make mention too, Brad, you're a newcomer to our community, what, 2-3 years now? You've been
1 year.
1 year. And you're bringing this innovative stuff, and I want to mention your tubing, what you're trying to do with the river. Could you elaborate to the media a little bit on that, what you're trying to do? I know it hasn't come to fruition yet, but
sure.
It's a really neat idea.
That'd be a different hat I have to put on.
Yes.
That'd be my Purgatory River Run Company. I came to town and I looked at that beautiful river. Actually, I saw some kids inner tubing down the river. I took some pictures and got in the paper one day. But I went, well, why don't we do this more often? So I checked to see if there was a legal reason why we cannot go down the river. And I heard that one time there was a law against going down the river in inner tubes. But for now, I've heard that law is descended, so we don't have a law against it. So I started coming up with a river rafting company, where we don't have a big raft where I'm in there driving the boat with 12 people. The river's not that big, but it's perfect for our inner tubing. It's a class 2 river. It's not a class 3 unless it's flooding, like this spring. But right now it's perfect water level. It's a blast to go down. We start at the dam at the railroad tracks, right where the Corps of Engineers property ends and the private property begins. I talked to Corps of Engineers. They don't want us to put in the river on their property. I'm also working with the Corps of Engineers about the river jacks in there. Not to take them out, but if we could put tires or chains or something on them so the inner tubes can bounce off of them and help with the river, flow. So I am just starting to get all the bugs worked out. This winter, I'm going to go up the river when they cut off the water and clean all the dead trees and everything that's really a hazard to us right now. I've got some inner tubes. I'm going over, I've got different types of inner tubes. So I'm going to find out what the best inner tubes, how long they would last before they get too many holes and everything. I've gone down the river with other people as just a free basis. I'm not charging anybody right now. I've gone down the river from the dam 7 times. There's some really kind of dangerous spots that we have to work out. I'm going to try to get to next year where a blind person can go down the river and be safe. That's my goal. So we can have anybody go down the river. I'm limited now where if you're under 14, I have you ride in the same inner tube. And they're big inner tubes, handles, cup holders, mesh bottoms, and everything. A little backrest and everything. They're not.
You got a CD player in that?
No, because of the water. Also, no phone service on the river either because I took my phone and it got wet and I had to get a new one. But it is a blast. There's little weights, there's little, I guess, rapids that are this tall. It's not that big on a kayak, but when you're laying in inner tube and you're only this high above the water, those are right up at base level, and so it's a blast. Carlos, your brother, went down there and he had a blast. And so next year, I plan to open up the company full tilt. Got to work on insurance, is the biggest problem right now, and a waiver, so I don't get sued if somebody cuts himself or jumps off inner tube drunk and hurts himself. So we're getting all the legal aspects that are worked out.
We probably got contacts with 2 guys gentlemen that were here this morning, Brian and John. They might be able to assist you with some programming or.
Yeah. So it's right now it's kind of on the back burner of all my 14 different things I'm doing. But it is working its way into where next spring I'll be with hopefully 20 to 30 inner tubes with a tent and a regular brochure, regular service hours. I'm looking to get some kind of an old school bus or a van where I can put the inner tubes in there and drive them up to the dam, all over Point, or they can walk up to Safeway. My pricing is where you can rent the inner tube for $20 for the whole day, unless you're a town and you got to give a $20 deposit for it. But if you live in town, you buy a member's card for $20 that covers the deposit, and you get half price. So people in Trinidad will get half price.
I don't want to cut you off because this is very, but we're talking about model rockets and now we're tubing.
We changed. Yeah.
So I think that's another story.
Another day?
Another day.
Sure. So. And,
Okay, I
guess that's it. Thanks very much.
we will look into this tomorrow, Rock Tree, and see
Okay.
what.
Yeah, and I'll get with you.
I think he had a very good idea there, that ought to be right up the.
Yeah, I think that would actually be pretty cool if you got somebody from the Army and actually there that day, and I think it'd be really neat with the kids, and that's a really
Yeah.
neat idea.
The Air Force also loves model rocket clubs too, and so I'm going to contact the Air Force in Colorado.
Yeah, I'd really look into that with Canyon, because that might really be right up their alley too, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I know there's space. They got a lot of space, and we'll be worried about FAA, or, that might be a hurdle we don't have to jump to.
Okay.
I know it's a little ways out there, but you can always get funding to put gas in it, I'll help you out with gas.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, Brad.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Consideration of IFB number 17-001 change order. And basically what he's wanting to do here is just change the date from the end of September to the end
Go
of
back,
October.
did we have to do anything with that consideration with this now, like either table it or do something with that?
Okay,
The one with the gentleman that just walked out, if you have to do something with that to say that we'll come back to it? Because it does the consideration of, did we have to do something with that?
Well, it was probably not a bad idea, and that's the reason we have him here, let's keep us in mind.
Or also, it's,
Yes.
so that's what I said, do you want to actually do something to say?
Well, let's just table it.
Okay,
Make a motion to table
okay.
model locket launch
On the locket.
I second that.
with Kim Jong over here.
Commissioner Walter,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Bowden.
Yes. Okay, so what Phil is really asking for here is just a month extension on the crushing.
That's what it looks like.
Because of the adverse weather that we've had this summer, that slowed it down.
It looks like he wants October 31st.
And that
Instead
won't
of
cost us any
September.
money. I'm not gonna charge us extra for being out there.
We have received quite a bit of rain this year.
Yeah. Inch and a quarter last night, or night before last.
Yeah. Don't know.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't know. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Walter,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowden.
Yes. Consideration of resolution 17-032, appointing a representative to the Los Angeles County District Health Department Board of Directors. And since you're newly appointed, do you have anybody that you recommend?
Mr. Rankin has served on the board before. Currently, he's a good man, outstanding citizen in our community, makes good decisions, very level-headed. And I know Ms. Gonzalez likes him a lot, so I'm going to recommend Mr. Ron Rankin.
You make that a motion?
I make that a motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Walter,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowden.
Yes.
Do I need to read the resolution then for that?
Oh, for Mr. Rankin?
Yeah.
Well, then rescind that vote and read that.
A resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, appointing a representative of Los Angeles County to the Los Angeles Huerfano County's District Health Department Board of Directors, resolution number 17-032. Whereas Los Angeles County, cooperation with Huerfano County, jointly created the Los Angeles Huerfano County's District Health Department for the purpose of delivery of public health services to the citizens in the Bi-County District. And whereas the Public Health Improvement Act of Colorado requires that the District Health Departments be comprised of persons appointed by the designated appointing authority of the Representative Board of County Commissioners and the counties comprising of the District Health Department, and such District Health Board is charged with the responsibility of setting a policy, making decisions, and assuring the delivery of essential public health services within the district. And whereas Los Angeles County in accordance with the agreement entered into with Fort Bernard County, is entitled to make 3 appointments to the 5-member District Board of Health of Directors. District Health Board of Directors, and whereas Commissioner Dean Moulter has been designated as the appointing authority for Los Animas County, fill vacancies on the District Health Board. Following consultation with his fellow county commissioners, to consider persons to be selected to serve on the District Health Board of Directors, and whereas 1 vacancy exists on Los Animas Huerfano County District Health Board. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Animas County, Colorado, that the Board of County Commissioners hereby endorses the recommendation of Commissioner Dean Moulter as appointing authority for Los Animas County of the appointment of Brown Rankin, with term to extend from the date of this appointment until September 2021. Upon a motion made and seconded, and an affirmative vote, the resolution was adopted this 19th day of September 2017.
Therefore, I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Moulter?
Yes.
And Commissioner Lowry?
Yes. Consideration of bills and payroll for the first half of September.
Payroll as of September 15th is $140,827.72. Matt, did you see the invoice I sent you for the rodeo or the roundup?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Thank you. It's been built, right? Or is
It's been billed, we haven't received the revenue for it. So you'll see on page 8 where on the sheriff extra duty, there were some deputies that were paid out for the rodeo security. And Mac's question to me, he wanted to know if we received the money from the association. So Linda sent the invoice that she billed for it. I think it was about $900 and some dollars that she billed Mac
right.
to pay for, to reimburse us for their security. So that's just a wash for the county. Okay, so the revenue does come in to kind of pay for this.
Well, I was out there for the roundup, and I just got to say, I didn't know that they got reimbursed, or the roundup had to pay for no security at our county fairgrounds. Is that commonplace? Has happened in the past? Because I think it should be part of their responsibility, the sheriff's department, to be patrolling the fairgrounds when they're having functions there, not having to be paid by a private entity who's renting the place.
I fully concur with what you said, because it's one thing if it goes to a private, somebody privately that Burlington Northern or something hires him to watch over a train wreck or something like that. That's different. And I hear what you're saying about this is happening on our ground. So do we take it to the next step that whenever we need patrolled out there that the county gets charged money? Do we get sent a bill from the sheriff's department because they went out to the fairgrounds?
Do they pay us for the fuel, for the vehicles we're using? If they're going to have security, why are they?
I think they pay us $35 per hour, and so and the employees get paid $30 because the $5 is paid for the benefits.
Not the benefits, but not the fuel and the use of the wear and tear.
No.
So.
No, and I don't know the agreement on that. We haven't asked them to bring forth the agreements to the commissioners before any kind of agreement that we make with anybody, but I don't know on that.
How big of a deal would it be to go back to last year or the last couple, 3 years and see how that's been handled, if it's been the same way?
I can pull up because I can have him send me. Because like I said, when they came for the mid-year, we asked for any contract they go into, we wanted it to come before board,
right,
so that you could make the agreement, but I haven't seen anything like that. And there might have been a conversation with Pete, like I said, with him. I don't know that.
okay.
Do we have a resolution to the state senate? Maybe we need to.
No, but the governing party, and the governing party actually approves all contracts.
We need to look into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
irregardless.
I can pull all that back if you'd like.
Well, I would just like to see what's happened in the past couple of years that we paid out. I mean, I don't think it changes anything on the bills. We owe that money, and it's just a matter of whether, how we handle it from here, but we still owe that money.
So yeah, I'm saying there could have been too much fuel because all they're doing is they're driving and then do they walk around or what do they do? I don't know.
Well, and are they part of the regular shift as
So
well?
they're off. They are off duty, so that's where they're hired as. If they are, because Derek did tell me they're off duty. And that's where they come in for the security.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to tell you because Matt had questioned that and I wanted you to know about the rodeo. Bills paid on September 6th. Let's see, I noted that Leone, that was for grant aid 193 for $69,192.82. We paid RBK for the $43,318. I will get reimbursed from FAA from that, 90% of that. On September 13th, oh, I don't think I read how much, sorry about that. On September 6th, we paid out $141,477.23. On September 13th, invoices were $128,831.88. And let's see, Jolly Towing for $4,000. We received a check back for $4,000. That was an insurance claim.
That was for the boy that was being stored?
Correct. Yes, we did get insurance money back from that.
Good.
Okay. Main Street Auto, there was, I don't know, a bunch of cars that were repaired for $1,011.26 for the Sheriff's Department. And then this $3,042.78, I guess you guys approved it. I wasn't here at that time, but they were for tasers for the Sheriff's Department. And that came from
The grant?
the sales tax.
I thought that came from the grant.
No, it came from sales tax.
What did they get?
That was for the cameras.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, yeah,
but this right
tasers.
here is for tasers, because I called and asked about that. But they said it was approved
Yes.
at one of the meetings.
They had purchased the new tasers because then they would not need the practice cartridges because the new tasers are equipped with what they need for training purposes, is what they mentioned. And previously, they had used tasers that were so outdated they didn't have batteries for. So I think that's when you approved initially, they had practice cartridges and we took those off.
Yeah, I think we have one.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. That's it.
Make motion, pay bills.
Oh, second that.
Commissioner Walter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Louder?
Have these bills already been paid?
Yes, these, oh, you mean for DHS? I don't know.
No, for this.
Oh, yes, these have
So, I vote no.
Yes. Yeah, this is just a recap. How about that?
Oh, yes.
It's a recap.
Acting in its capacity as Board of Human Services, consideration of bills for the first half of September. I briefly went over what was down there this morning, but I don't know if you guys have had a chance.
I haven't
I haven't had a chance.
yesterday, I didn't see those. I didn't see them.
Okay. Make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
Commissioner Walter? Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Louder?
Yes. Executive session, the board will meet in executive session under CRS 24-6-4024B, conferred with the county attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions in CRS 24-6-4024F, personnel matters not involving any specific employees who have requested decision of the matter in open session. Any member of this body or an elected official or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personal to the particular employees. CRS 24-6-4024C, determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for no negotiations.
I mean, motion to go into executive.
Second?
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Walters?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowley?
Yes.